Very cold Christmas Eve. I was walking my dog past Irving Berlin's Manhattan townhouse. I found myself singing this song, and I suddenly burst into tears. For some reason, the venture became a ritual with me. I started then to serenade that house and the nearly 100-year-old recluse who lived there. I had no indication that anyone heard me, except for the raising and lowering of a shade in the window upstairs. Later, I got some of my friends to join me on Christmas Eve to make up a sort of choir. Finally, one Christmas Eve, I got up the courage to ring his bell, and at once the house lit up, and a maid appeared to invite us in. "Mr. Berlin wants to thank you," she said, and ushered us into the kitchen where, there, we saw him, the great little man himself, in pajamas, eyes large and bright. We sang, present I've ever had, and he hugged every one of us. Since then, we've kept our Christmas serenade every year.
We became his ambassadors, and as such created the little reminiscence you're about to see. Since none of us are big stars, though, we all take turns playing all the parts from Irving Berlin to Ethel Merman. When Izzy, excuse me. You see, Irving Berlin was born Israel, nicknamed Izzy, Balin, to Russian Jewish parents, immigrant parents who settled in together on the east side of Manhattan. Now, rumor had it that it was through a publisher's error that he became Irving Berlin, but the truth is, Izzy invented that name. He wanted to reinvent himself, to get away from the ghetto as far as he could, and to market himself to the public. But I knew the story of his real name. So one night, in one of our gatherings, I called him Izzy. He was delighted. And after that, at least to us, he was no longer Mr. Irving Berlin, but simply our friend Izzy.
When Izzy first played White Christmas, he played it on a large upright piano, not one like this one. You see, he could only play on the black keys, and he couldn't read music. His piano had a lever underneath the keyboard which changed the key to anything you wanted to play it. His piano put in so many miles with him, he called it his Buick. He always employed a musical secretary to write down his music as he sang or played it. Of course, the secretary was the first to hear his songs.
When he first came in with the song, he said, not only is this the best song I ever wrote, it is the best song anybody ever wrote. And I thought, oh, you conceited ass. But when he began to play and sing that song in his high, raspy voice, I knew it was a hit. And I was just as excited as he was.
As a boy, Izzy had an almost maniacal drive to get away, to get a different life. He worked in dives, saloons, bawdy houses, opium dens. Eventually, though, he found a job as a singing waiter in a saloon that catered to ragtime music. Izzy realized that ragtime music had been so popular, even the name ragtime could be sold to the public. So his first major hit was, what else? Alexander's Ragtime Band.
But he had a much grander scheme to get out of the saloons and into the ballrooms. The dance craze in America's ballrooms was black inspired, and the names alone had shock value.
The Red, the Turkey Trot, the Monkey, the Maxie, the Bunny Hug, the Ostrich, the Gotham Gobble, the Humpback, the Half and Half, and the Come to Me.
The press and pulpit decried these bestial performances. Lock up your daughter was a watchword. But Izzy, ever the opportunist and song plugger, exploited the craze, adding his own horridly suggestive doing it.
Everybody
singers to his office, searching for a hit. One of the singers' names was Dorothy Getz. She pleaded for a song. Later, Izzy remembered.
She hardly began to speak when another Broadway adorable swept into the room. When she heard what Dorothy was asking, she rushed across the room and grabbed her, shaking her, saying, "No, this is mine. I want it." Well, Dorothy was a woman of spirit. She swung a haymaking left and slapped the newcomer across the face. Then they were either tooth and nail. There's nothing I could do. I'd always dreamed of people fighting over my stuff, but this was the first time I saw it come true.
He gave the song to the other girl. But before Dorothy had a chance to complain, he invited her out on a date. They fell deeply in love, and love to Izzy meant marriage. They honeymooned in Cuba. While there, a typhoid fever epidemic struck, and when they came home, she fell ill. There wasn't anything you could do about it in those days. But he did something about it. He went back to that trick piano. He didn't forget his loss. He wrote about it.
I lost the sunshine and roses. I lost the heavens of blue. I lost the beautiful rainbows. I lost the morning dew. I lost an angel who gave me summer the whole winter through. I lost that gladness, that strength into sadness when I lost
Satisfied with his laurels, Izzy yearned to conquer Broadway. His first real Broadway venture was also the first, but certainly not the last or greatest time. He wrote for a dance team, Vernon and Irene Castle, in a show called Watch Your Step. It contained this scene.
Good evening, old man. Been to the theater tonight?
Oh, yeah. We just came back from the opening of Onion Girls.
Sure.
Hey, how did that one song go? That was a real crackerjack.
Listen to this. Use the demons that you honey and dream and want to play me some rag. Change your plans from that to some sweet, beautiful drag. You will claim the copy of the this trophy, use it all like was. And that is simply because I want to listen to
No, how simply dreadful. Why don't they play some music from Hannigan and Hard Days?
I know exactly what you mean.
Now this is music.
Won't you lay your simple love?
Play a melody.
Like my mother sang to me.
Like my mother sang to me, my honey.
A good old-fashioned harmony.
What was harmony?
Play a simple melody.
Play a simple melody, my darling musical team is such a honey, simple melody. Just change that crossword.
My mother's son
Sweet beautiful drag. If you will play the melody of the this time, you'll be on. Musical team is such a honey, simple melody. Just change that crossword.
My mother's son
Sweet beautiful drag. If you will play the melody of the this time, you'll be on.
Despite his own lack of musical training, Izzy had his own theories of song composition. Among the rules published by the American magazine were
Melody must be in most singers' range.
The song's title must be attention-grabbing.
The song should be sexist, being able to be sung by both men and women.
sprinkle your song with open vowels.
Make the song as simple as possible.
Songwriting is a business. The songwriter must work.
And work, and work, and work.
He did, of course. He wrote for the great Ziegfeld, the Follies of 1919. In it, the tenor John Steele sang the consummate Ziegfeld song.
Well, when Izzy wasn't composing, he spent considerable time at the Algonquin Hotel, down from his office. And there he became a member of the famous Round Table, headed by the critic curmudgeon Alexander Woolcott. Now that group was composed of George F. Kaufman, Dorothy Parker, Robert Sherwood, Robert Bitsley, Harpo Marx, Yasha Hypens, and other notables. Although in the periphery of the group, he was asked to conduct their first amateur musical. Now the show was not notable, but the chorus line was. It included such choreens as Helen Hayes and Tallulah Bankhead. Seems that these sophisticated round table parties could be interesting.
As we sat around drinking champagne, Irving went to the piano. He started playing a song that he had started to write, but he hadn't been able to finish it. Funny thing was, after he had enough of the champagne, he was able to finish the song.
What'll I do? Well, that's the name of the song. What'll I do?
It's not.
What'll I do? Come on, what do I do? What? Wait, what?
Ba-da-ba-ba. That's what comes next.
What?
Ba-ba-ba-ba. That's it.
That's it. What I do when you are far and I am near. What I do when I am loving you is listen to what I do. What I do is just a photograph to tell my troubles. I'm alone with all these dreams of you that once come true. What will I do?
Izzy never trusted working for somebody else. So, he started his own publishing company, and he built his own theater, the Music Box. The Music Box reviews were sometimes great, sometimes not so great.
On one particular occasion, there was a young lady present by the name of Ellen Mackey, daughter of the great telegraph tycoon Clarence Mackey. Now, Clarence Mackey at his estate, Harbor Hill, entertained the society of the very rich and the very famous. His latest house guest had been none other than the Prince of Wales.
The tycoon was horrified that his daughter was seeing a mere Tin Pan Alley tunesmith. To make sure his daughter forgot the upstart, he bribed her with a tour of Europe.
Clarence thought Izzy was going to forget Ellen. He was badly mistaken. In fact, he spoke of his anxiety over the separation.
In the song, I tried to express a feeling or emotion that had been embodied in me. It was the newest creation of my brain, and I was a bit sensitive, however enthusiastic, concerning it. Remember the night you said I love you. Remember you are by all the stars above you. Remember.
And Clarence kept fighting it.
The day you marry my daughter, I'll disinherit her.
The day I marry your daughter, I'll settle $2 million on her.
A person of your background has no place in my family.
I can trace my family all the way back to Exodus.
Well, here's another exodus for you. Get out.
Such fabricated scenes of Boreas's romantic trials were popular with the press, but they were nothing compared to the scenario performed by the couple preparing for their elopement. Secret meetings, confidential phone calls, security checks, disguises even, are only seen in movies. And after the wedding was over, the press had a field day.
Irving Berlin, went Ellen Mackey, elopers speed away.
Extra, extra! Parents disapprove Society girl's marriage to jazzy composer.
Read all about it. Irving Berlin weds Alan Mackey. $1 billion daddy brushed off for composer.
Extra, extra, Mrs. Berlin seeks pardon from father despite the fact that home is closed to her.
Hot off the president! Irving Berlin says we are happy, and beyond that, there's nothing to say.
Well, after the honeymoon cruise was over, Izzy had a little one-upmanship for his father-in-law. He not only dedicated his latest hit to his bride, but he assigned all the royalties to the woman he loved.
Everything went wrong, and the whole day long, I feel so blue. For the longest while, I forget to smile. Then I met you. Now that my blue day has passed, now that I found you at last,
in Izzy's busy life.
Hello, Irving. This is Belle Baker. I'm opening in a show tomorrow night, and there isn't a single Belle Baker song in the lot of the whole score. I'm miserable. What can I do?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Belle. All I've got is a song in my trunk. Now, I've often thought it would be perfect for you, but I just never got around to finishing it.
Irving, please come over. I know it's almost midnight, but Maury's here, and will feed you, and he'll help. After all, a song half finished by you is better than what I've got.
Well, okay. Well, by the way, who did you say wrote the score?
Oh, somebody named Rogers. I think maybe Richard Rogers. Oh, Irving, are you coming?
He'll never speak to us again.
But he did go. By 6 a.m. the song was finished. Of course, that song stole the show, and Richard Rogers didn't speak to either one of them for quite a while.
Just as blue could be. Every day was a cloudy day for me. And good luck in knocking at my door. Skies are gray, but they're not gray.
Conquer new markets, Izzy moved into motion pictures. The actual title of his first picture was based on one of his earlier songs. It became one of the famous songs, popular songs, Gangster.
Give me a break here, I don't want to be on the
Come on,
Five, 6, 7, 8.
Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue? On that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air. High hats and narrow crowns, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time. If you're blue and you don't know when to go to, why don't you go and pass your things?
the Holiday Inn first came out, White Christmas was not the big hit Izzy expected to be. In fact, it was almost ignored. Only one group of American citizens made that the most popular song in World War II. It made almost a national anthem for that group of American citizens. You know who they were? The GIs. That's right. The GIs out on the front lines listening to the radio. Despite the fact that radio had made White Christmas, Izzy had very little use for it as a medium for his songs. Fortunately, an associate of his, Max Winslow, was a radio fan, and he took these songs to the radio audiences, and they fell in love with them.
Thank you for continuing to buy Quaker Oats. Whether it be the farm, the factory, or the office, nothing gets a man started better than a hearty breakfast of Quaker Oats. And now, listen to our Family Hour Choir sing a couple of Irving Berlin's latest successes. First, How Deep is the Ocean? And then cuddle up close for soft lights and sweet music.
Well, I just don't feel up to par, Ma. My get up and go has gone up and went.
Just have another cup of that Modern Mills coffee. That'll perk you up to do a day's work and a half.
Thanks, Ma.
Land sake! What got into him? He took off like a jackrabbit. Well, I sure hope he comes back.
What got into Pa was that delicious and full of pep Modern Mills coffee. And now listen to our coffee choir.
Just around the corner, there's a rainbow in the sky. So let's have another coffee and let's have another pie. Crunch on the bubble and clouds will soon go by. So let's have another coffee and let's have another pie. Please mind your umbrella, or just letting it shine. If Johnny Rockefeller is looking for the silver lining, let's have another pie. So let's have another coffee.
Our film producer, Pandro Irving, secured Izzy's services to write the score for the musical Top Hat with Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. Astaire's screen test results had been bad. Can't act, slightly bald, enormous ears, bad chin line.
But after Fred and Ginger had captivated audiences from coast to coast, the studios changed their mind and made Astaire a star.
Izzy admired Astaire. In fact, Izzy admired him so much that he was the only person he would take advice from. So, often he would try out new songs on Fred while they played cards, which they often did. I'm in heaven. Now, what do you think of that one, Fred?
Oh, I love it. Just love it. It's great. Love it. Love it.
Good. Gin.
I'm putting on my top hat, putting on my white tie, brushing off my tails. I'm doing up my shirt front, putting in my shirt studs, polishing my nails. I'm stepping out, my dear, to breathe an atmosphere that simply rings with class. And I trust that you'll excuse my dust while I step on the gas. I'll be there, putting on my top hat, mussing on my white tie, dancing in my tails. I'll be there, putting on my top hat, mussing on my white tie, dancing in my heaven. I'm in heaven, and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. And I seem to find the happiness I see when we're out together dancing cheek to cheek.
Seem to vanish like a canvas that we streak.
Cheek to Cheek featured Ginger in a feathered costume that caused Fred to have sneezing fits. After many takes, the costume was finally altered. But not until Fred had written this little parody. Feathers, I hate feathers, and I hate them so that I can hardly speak, and I never find the happiness I seek with those chicken feathers dancing cheek to cheek. 1933, the biggest event of the Broadway season was Irving Berlin's As Thousands Cheer. In it was another holiday song that had become almost as popular as White Christmas.
Never saw you look quite so pretty before. Never saw you dressed quite so lovely. What's more, I could hardly wait to keep our date this lovely Easter morning. And I might be fast as I keep in your Easter party, with all the thrills of party, you'll be fast in the Easter parade.
We'll be all in over, and when it looks over, we'll be the proudest couple in the Easter parade. From the Avenue, Fifth Avenue, the Conquerors will snap us, and you'll find you're on the road, I can ride a sonnet, all out to Easter bonnet, and all the girl I'm taking to the Easter parade.
In 1939, America was on the verge of war. Remembering World War I, a lot of people were concerned, and Izzy became their Minister of Peace. He already had the perfect song, a trunk song, a discard from his World War I soldier show, a song about prairies and mountains. He only needed to change a few lines.
In the original song, the word right was a political term no longer appropriate, so stand beside her and guide her to the right, da-da-da, became instead, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. And in the original song, the word victorious was used, and that sounded too much like war. So, make her victorious on land and foam. God bless America, my home sweet home, became simply, God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Ted Collins, who managed a very popular radio singer, Kate Smith, was looking for a patriotic song for her to sing on Armistice Day. He got it. Kate Smith became an American legend, and so did the song.
While the storm clouds gather all across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful